I'm gonna show you one change that you can use to lose belly fat forever. We all know the problem. With all the high calorie foods out there and the lack of movement, it almost seems impossible to lose belly fat. It's a problem that everybody is experiencing nowadays, and I'm no different. Over the years, I've noticed that I've been gaining belly fat, but I finally figured something out. I've tried all the fad diets, I've ordered the late night infomercial products, the ab rollerizer, all these fancy things. None of them ever worked. And all these diets that I tried, whether it was keto or high carb, low carb, or the South Beach diet or whatever the fad is lately, I've tried them all and none of them work. Maybe I'll lose a little bit of weight in the beginning, but then as it goes, I can never stick with these things and they never work. The only thing that ever worked, the only thing that helped me maybe get that little bit of a six-pack that I've been working on was time-restricted eating or fasting. And hang on for a minute, because I know what you're thinking, this is one of the fads too, but you know what? Humans have been doing this for centuries. There was all kinds of times when they didn't have food. Food wasn't readily available like it is right now. And we used to go for these periods, and the human body developed to be able to handle these times without food. We had metabolic flexibility where we could switch to burning ketones and, fats, or we could burn the carbs that were readily available in our foods, right? When you think about it, there's so many benefits to this style of eating. It's unbelievable, and it makes it so simple, because whether you call it time-restricted eating or you call it fasting or however you want to structure it, you just have this eating window that you can shorten or expand depending on the day, depending on the week, depending on what you want to do, what you want to achieve with your health, where you're at. There's so many good things about it, because you think about it. The first thing, you're not going to have to change anything else. You don't have to exercise if you don't want to. I would highly recommend it. Sure, it's good for a bunch of other benefits, but you don't have to. You don't have to change what you're eating. If you just fast and shorten your window, skip breakfast. That's what I started doing. Now I rarely eat breakfast, and sometimes I'll still eat breakfast, what it's called, eggs, oatmeal, whatever. I'll still sometimes eat that meal, but I just eat it later because I enjoy breakfast. I enjoy eating eggs and veggies and some mushrooms and all these things that are like breakfast food, say in an omelet or whatever, however you want to eat that. The other thing I love about fasting, another huge benefit, is your time. You get your time back. A lot of us will fill in things with eating, when we should be doing other things, or maybe we don't eat, we're bored or we're stressed out or whatever things, that you fill eating in. And yeah, we all have to eat, but we are all eating too much, most of us. And the food is readily available everywhere. You want to go to a restaurant, you want to go get an ice cream, you want to do this, you want to do that. You're eating at home or snacking. There's bars. The food companies are spending billions to literally get us to eat ourselves to death. So I love fasting. It gives you control, this level of control. So not only do you save time, you're going to also save money. You're also going to create this discipline around food. It's the absolute best way to create discipline with eating, by skipping a meal. And if you think about it, and I used to do this, I'm a stress eater. And when I would get stressed and go and eat, I started to observe that behavior. Why am I eating right now? Because I'm thinking of all these things in the back of my mind that are going on in my life, and I don't really know how to deal with them, so I'll eat. And of course, you have all those dopamine and those serotonin receptors in your stomach, send signals to your brain, make you happy. Oh yeah, I'm feeling good. And then, 10, 20 minutes later, you're feeling the same way you were, right? So it's just this instant gratification thing, and you're not looking out into the future, right? And so I started to notice those patterns. But when I would fast, I started to notice, you know what? I need to deal with this stuff head on. I don't need to go have a sandwich or a cookie or a piece of cake that's going to make me feel better. I need to deal with the things that are going on. So that was the other thing I noticed about it. And it's just one change in your life that is so simple. Skip a meal. Skip a day. I know, that sounds insane. Skip a whole day of eating. I just did it yesterday. And it's so easy once you start. Gives your body this rest, your digestive system. Your body only has so much energy and time to do the things that it does. And if you're eating from the time you get up to the time you go to bed, your body doesn't have that much time to repair. So start to think about that. But fasting, honestly, guys, it is one of the best tools, the simplest to implement, the easiest to create sustainable weight loss. And that's why it's on fire right now. I mean, everybody loves it. Learning and learning more and more benefits of it long term. People doing 1, 2, 3 day fasts, all the changes that they're making. You hear all the stuff Gary Brecker, Dana White just went through a whole thing. Changed his whole life, and fasting was a big part of that, right? You let your body do what it needs to do, give it the conditions that it needs, and it's amazing what can happen. Give it a try. So what are you gonna go do? Tomorrow, the next day, make a little plan for yourself. You're gonna skip breakfast, or maybe you don't eat for the whole day. If you are on medication and you have some conditions, or you don't think you can do that, maybe check with your doctor, but otherwise, it's not gonna hurt you. You're not gonna die skipping a meal here or there. I know so much of us get tied up with the scale. If you weigh yourself the night before, plan on doing your fast, just drink water, drink lots of water all day. I'll have water and tea, and sometimes I'll put stuff in the water, sometimes I won't. Sometimes I'll just do the water fast, but you can do whatever, especially on your first couple. There's no rules. Just do what you can. Start the process. Make some changes so you can see changes in your life. Weigh yourself the night before. Fast for however as long as you can. So you're gonna change that day's eating, whether you just skip breakfast, whether you skip breakfast or lunch, whether you go the whole day without eating. Weigh yourself the next morning, and you're gonna be happy because you're gonna be lighter. Because if you think about it and you're burning whatever, 2,000, 3,000 calories a day, say you're burning on average, that's almost a pound of fat. And you'll lose some water weight in there too. So if you weigh yourself the night before you go to bed, fast the next day, you're gonna wake up, you're probably gonna be 2, 3, 4, even 5 pounds lighter. And I know a lot of us get tied up with that, what it's looking like on the scale, right? And that can be a motivating factor. People stop dieting or stop trying to get healthy when they don't see results on the scale. And I mean, that is just one metric that we should be looking at. But if you wanna feel that, good feeling when you look on the scale, do that little trick that I showed you. Give fasting a try, guys. You'll love it. Talk to you soon.